Today's video is going to be an important one, especially for palm oil producer, people who have a massive investment in the oil palm industry, and especially also for people who are into the business of palm oil storage. So there are some time that you just need to hold on to your product. You just need to keep it for some time. Maybe because the prices at the market at that time are not that palatable, are not that favorable for you to sell at that time. As we all know it, palm oil have the peak and the low season. During the peak season, we have a whole lot of influx of palm oil from different corners of the country into the market, thereby driving the prices down. So at that time, if you are having palm oil, what most people do is to store, and then they will bring the bulk out during the low season where the prices will have gone up. Now, but it is very, very important for us to understand the basic principle that is guiding the storage of palm oil product, especially the red palm oil itself, because there have been situations whereby people will go ahead going into the oil palm or palm oil storage business, and they will store palm oil. At the end of the day, at the end of 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, they want to bring out their palm oil to sell. They will be coming out with bad oil. So on today's episode, I will be discussing and explaining the principle guiding how you should go about your palm oil storage. Before I go on, I would like to appreciate Mr. Friday. Mr. Friday is the one that sponsored today's video, and Mr. Friday is one of the biggest, I can say that again, one of the biggest oil palm farmer in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. So, how do you store your palm oil to avoid spoilage, to avoid rancidity, to avoid losing its quality? So, there are basic 5 things you must observe. There are basic 5 things you must do if you want to ensure at the end of your storage time you are still coming out with good quality. The way you store it, you'll be coming out with it. The number one thing is that you must make sure you process your palm oil very well. You process it to the last point, and you make sure you clarify and you filter, because oil that are not clarified and that are not filtered, that contain impurities, have higher tendency of spoilage. Another thing under you processing your oil very well, you must make sure that the water content in your oil has reduced to the barest minimum. Because if you are having a level of water in that oil that is a little bit high, that will speed up of the rate of spoilage. And for some of us who wants to do the storage business ourselves, make sure you go to the place you want to buy your palm oil yourself. You feel it, you smell it. Good oil have inviting aroma. They don't smell foul smell. That is the number one. Make sure you process very well. You make sure the water content in your oil is very, very reduced. Make sure you clarify and make sure you filter. The essence of this is to reduce the impurity, which will speed up the rate of decomposition or the rate of deterioration in your oil. The number two thing you must take note and you must do as a matter of urgency is that you must select the right type of container for your oil. So for some of us who are bulk dealers, or some of us who have big plantation, it is not easy for us to be storing in jerry can. Jerry can is one plastic container is one of the best way by which you can store your oil. But in a case whereby you have a barrel of oil, we are talking about tons of oil now. Make sure the tank you'll be using are not made from reactive metals. Now, when I talk about reactive metals, I'm talking about copper, tanks made with copper and metal that rust. Make sure you avoid that type of material when you are building your oil storage tank. So the preferable type of metal or type of tank you should be storing your palm oil are the stainless steel, or rather use the GP tank, or you use jerry can or drums. So that is also a very good way. Make sure you select the right type of container. The number three thing you must avoid when you are storing your palm oil for a longer period of time and you want to ensure the quality is still intact is that you must, as a matter of fact, do everything in your capacity to avoid exposure to air. Now, when your oil is exposed to air, there is something we call oxidation. The water in the atmosphere will react with your oil and the oil will go rancid easily. So that is why it is very, very important for you to store your oil in an airtight container. Now, the number four things you must do as a matter of fact and as a matter of urgency is that the place you want to store your oil must not be a place that will be stuffy. You must store your oil in a cool, dry place. In a cool and dry place. Don't store your oil in a place that will get heat easily. When your oil gets heat every time, it tends to spoil the oil. It speed up some kind of reaction in the oil and it will affect the shelf life of your oil. So make sure the place you are storing your oil is cool, is dry, and it is a bit ventilated. So the ideal temperature for your store should be around 20 to 27 degrees Celsius. So make sure it's not a place that will be too stuffy or too hot. It will uh, it will hasten up the deterioration of your oil. And another thing is that don't refrigerate your oil. Oil is best stored at room temperature. Make sure the place you are storing your oil have this kind of room temperature atmosphere. So, and lastly but not the least, another thing that is very important in storing oil is for you to take record. If possible, make sure you label your oil and put a date on them. That will help you to know the stock that you should be taking out first. So you take them out according to their the period they've spent in the store, so that you will not be making mistake of leaving the old oil in the store and you are taking the new ones out. It is very important. And lastly but not the least, which is a tip I want to share with everybody, there are some antioxidants that you can actually add into your oil that will make it to prolong the shelf life of your oil. When you are doing this, you have to be very, very sure it is a food grade antioxidant. We have some of them like rosemary oil, you can just add to it, and so many other antioxidants like that. When you mix antioxidants with your oil, it tends to prolong the shelf life of your oil. If you are watching this channel for the first time, my name is Awolu Shalalawa. I'm an oil palm consultant, and this channel is dedicated to promote sustainable and profitable agriculture. In case you are watching for the first time, this is all we do on this channel. And if this resonates with your interest, kindly click on subscribe button to have access to more of my videos. Thank you for your time and see you on the next one. So I will appreciate if you can give it a like, give this video a like, share with your friends so that YouTube can recommend to others and other people can also learn from this kind of content. Thank you for your time and see you on the next one. Sheshe.